Respected principal of the institution, respected faculty members, respected dignitaries, and my very dear young friends, students. At the outset, I would like to congratulate ADIT for organizing this webinar, a very timely webinar on a very relevant topic, that is human values in the current era. In fact, whatever calamities we are undergoing, whether in the state, in the society, or in the nation, in the world, are because the human values are diminishing. We'll come to that point later on. But to start with, let us know what exactly are human values, how are they special, what is a human being, how is different from an animal or any other species, what is so special about a human being, and what are the human values that need to be cultivated for happiness and peace in our own life and for the good of the whole world. And then finally, how to cultivate those virtues so that all the human beings, they become better human beings, and thus we have a better society and a better world. So let me start with what is a human being. Albert Einstein, in his book, very small book, The World as I See It, a beautiful small book, he says, the true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained to liberation from the self. The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained to liberation from the self. So that is the objective that was set forward by Einstein for the whole humanity as a human being. That is our special prerogative. What is that? Liberation of the self. In India, it was called mukti or moksha. Einstein is telling in a different language the liberation of the self. And Lincoln Barnett, who has written a beautiful book, The Einstein and the Universe, he says, man has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception. What a beautiful idea. What a beautiful sentence. Man has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception. This is a unique capacity. We only human beings can go beyond time, space, and causation. We only can realize our true self. We only can go beyond the veil of Maya. The human beings only can know the ultimate truth. No other species. So man has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception. That is why Niels Bohr, the Nobel Prize physicist, says, we are actors and spectators in this great drama of life simultaneously. Simultaneously. That is a wonderful thing. We are actors and spectators in this great drama of life simultaneously. Now, no other species can simultaneously become actor and spectator. They can become actor or they can become spectator, but they cannot become both at the same time. But human beings can do that. That is a special prerogative of human beings. For example, there is a war going on between Rama and Ravana, or between, say, Duryodhana and Bhima. And now Bhima, he takes up the mace and just hits at Duryodhana. Now, when he's hitting Duryodhana, he knows that Duryodhana has to be killed and the public must clap that Duryodhana is gone. But at the same time, he knows that Though he is Duryodhana and though I am Bhima, my real name is Ramesh and his real name is Dinesh, and both are going to have coffee in the green room after 5 minutes. He doesn't forget that. He is a spectator and actor in this great drama simultaneously. So when he's hitting, he sees to it that he doesn't get injured. At the same time, the people feel, oh, he has been injured very seriously and he is dead. So this is a special prerogative of human beings. We are actors and spectators in this great drama of life simultaneously. This is a special prerogative. In different language, Taylor de Chardin, as you know, was a botanist. He was a Christian father. His books were not allowed to be published because some of his findings went, which were not in collaboration with the traditional principles of Christianity. And so, but his books were posthumously published. And one of the very famous book that is written by Taylor de Chardin is The Phenomena of Man. Beautiful book, The Phenomena of Man, where he raises this question: what is the difference between a man and an animal? What is the difference between a man and animal? And somebody said, well, intelligence. Human beings are more intelligent. Then he said, not necessarily so. You see, supposing there is a cat in your house, you put some milk in the kitchen at night. In the morning, you find that the cat has stolen the milk. What do? You hide the milk at some other corner in some other part of the room, other part of the house. What do you find next time? Next day, you find the cat has stolen milk from there also. So he's more intelligent. So cat is also intelligent. Then what is the difference between man and animal? Then he says beautifully, while a man knows what he knows, an animal does not know what it knows. Cat knows how to steal the milk, but cat does not know that the knowledge of stealing the milk is good or bad. That power of discrimination is not there. Whether stealing the milk is good, ethically, morally, or it is bad. That type of power of discrimination, Vivek Buddhi, is not with the cat, not with any animal. But man knows what he knows. Man knows how to steal. Man also knows that stealing is not good. And man also knows how to control the mind not to steal the milk. Now, this is a special prerogative. Controlling the mind. Controlling the mind. Man has got that willpower. Whatever he wants, he can do it. He has got tremendous willpower. He has got infinite power. Potential it is there, which is not available with all the other human beings. So this is a special prerogative of human beings we must know. The difference between man and animal. Between man and animal we must know. Outwardly they seem to be same. Ahar, nidra, bhay, maintunancha. Samanametat pashubhi naranam. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshah. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. Ahar, nidra, bhay, maintunancha. These four things are common between man and animal. What are the four things? Ahar, eating, nidra, sleeping, bhay, fearing, maintunancha, reproduction. These are the four things that are common between man and animals. Now, what is special about human beings? Ahar, nidra, bhay, maintunancha, samana metat pashubhi naranam, dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshah, dharmeni hina pashubhi samana. Religion, or I will use a better word, spirituality, because religion has got different connotations and it may give rise to some debate. So better use the word spirituality. It is spirituality which differentiates between man and animals. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. If you remove that spirituality, there is absolutely no difference between man and animal. This spirituality consists of the power of discrimination, where a human being can know what is the purpose of my life, what is the aim of life. And this is exactly what has been described by Dana Zohar. She is a professor in Oxford University. She has written a beautiful book. The name of the book is SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence. SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, where she says neurologically, physiologically, biologically, psychologically, from every point of view, there is a concluding evidence. There is something called SQ, which is the basis of both IQ and EQ. What is IQ? Intelligence quotient. IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? Emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman made a research in 1991 and said EQ is more important than IQ. Emotional intelligence. EQ is more important than IQ. What is IQ? IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? EQ will tell you how to play the game of life under changed circumstances with changed strategies. And then what is SQ? SQ will tell you why to play the game of life. Why we are here on this earth. What is the purpose of our life? What is the aim of our life? What do we want to achieve before we die? So that we don't have any regret that we didn't do this or that. That is the real thing, SQ, knowing the purpose of life. Now here, Dana Zohar says, scientifically, they have discovered that IQ is available with all the species, including the computers. EQ is available only with a few species, but SQ is available only with the human species. Now you just imagine. What Einstein said is coming true now. What Einstein said, man has that true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and sense in which has attained to liberation from the self. This is a special prerogative of human being. And what Lincoln Barnett said, man has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception. And here Dana Zohar says, now scientifically it is proved that only human beings have got SQ. That is, SQ means the capacity of knowing one's own self, capacity of knowing one's purpose of life, capacity of knowing why of everything. How of everything will be provided by an IQ and EQ, but why will be provided, the answer of why will be provided by SQ. So this SQ is very important. And now just imagine, our scripture said there are 84 lakhs of species, but only human beings can have self-realization or self-knowledge, can have infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, infinite existence. Satchitananda. This is the special prerogative of human being. Only human beings out of 84 lakhs of species can have access to self-realization or self-knowledge or infinite bliss. But what the modern science says, no, they are not 84 lakhs of species. They are 125 lakhs of species. Well, there is a difference, not much. At that time, there was no cloning, there was no microscope. Anyway, with all that, they could count 84 lakhs of species. Now they are telling, with all the latest instruments, 125 lakhs of species. Difference is not much. But they also tell the same thing. Out of 125 lakhs of species, only human beings have got SQ. So both are matching now. So now we know the real value of human being, the real human value that needs to be inculcated in every human being is SQ. That is the crux of the whole thing. Once SQ comes, IQ and EQ will follow. When IQ, EQ, SQ follow, the success will follow. Happiness will follow. Peace will follow. And what type of happiness? Long-term happiness. What type of success? Long-term success. What type of peace? Long-term peace. All these will follow when SQ comes. Now the million-dollar question is how to develop SQ. So here, the modern science is still groping with the problem. How to measure SQ? That is number one. So they are trying to find out the prerogatives. But one thing they have told, Dana Zohar says very plainly, she tells that we must understand the difference between religion and spirituality. Now, one person may be highly religious. In the traditional sense, a person may be going to the temples and churches and mosques, or reading a lot of holy books, and doing a lot of religious rituals, and yet he may not have developed SQ. Another person may not be following the rituals, so-called religious traditions, so-called rituals, and yet he would be high in SQ. This is a point to be noted. Normally, we think that some person is going to temple, church, mosque. Now, don't misunderstand. It is not bad to visit a church or a mosque or a temple. It is not bad to read a holy book. It will help you in developing SQ, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. You find a lot of people, just a merchant, what does he do? सेठ जी क्या करते हैं? सुबह में जय जगदीश हरे आरती करते हैं, फिर दुकान में जाते हैं, खच 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 सबको काटते हैं, एनी अमाउंट ऑफ फ्रॉड, और मिक्स करते हैं, और दही में क्या डालते पता नहीं, एडल्ट्रेशन इन द आइटम्स, भले लोग मर जाए, प्रॉफिट करना है, शाम को आने के बाद फिर से जय जगदीश हरे. Now that is not spirituality. That may be religion, but that is not spirituality. Unselfishness, selfless service, feeling for others. These are the basic values that are part and parcel of spirituality. So one may be religious and yet lacking in SQ, and one may be high in SQ and yet lacking in so-called religious rituals. So this we have to understand. So then how to develop SQ? And what are its parameters? So Swami Vivekananda gives the gist of the whole of Vedanta in his book on Raj Yoga, which gives an indication to that. What does he say? Each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy. By one or more or all of these, be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines, dogmas, rituals, worships, temples, churches, mosques are but secondary details. Each soul is potentially divine. There is infinite power behind each and every human being. This is the message that Swami Vivekananda delivered in the World's Parliament of Religion in Chicago in 1893. As you know, on that day, 11 September 1893, he delivered his historic speech. That was, mind you, also 9/11. But because we did not listen to his message of harmony of religions that he delivered on 9/11 in 1893, so because we did not listen to him, there was another 9/11 after 108 years. And in 2001, 9/11, New York, the Twin Trade Centers, the towers were broken down. Even today, I recently visited New York. Even today, it is ground zero. It's ground zero. There is a pool of water only. Why it happened? Because of fanaticism. And Swami Vivekananda told in Chicago on 11 September 1893 that we must say goodbye to all sorts of fanaticism, all sorts of persecution, whether with the sword or whether with the pen, in the name of religion. If we don't do that, we will have to pay a very heavy price, as we have been paying. And we did pay, and still we are going on paying, and this is continuing. What is happening all over the world today? The same fanaticism, the same strife between various religions going on. So this is very important. What Swami Vivekananda said, let us give respect. And there he said in that lecture, we do not believe only in toleration. We accept all religions equally true in India. Not only toleration, but acceptance, universal acceptance of all religions. This is what is needed today. This is one of the values, and that is a part of this SQ. Do you feel for others? Irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality? Are you ready to serve the other persons, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality, and caste and all that? Yes, then you have developed SQ. So this SQ will take care of all these things. Development of SQ is the primary thing. Once you develop SQ, then what happens? You get happiness and peace yourself, and you are able to do good to humanity, resulting in a better world. A beautiful example is given in the book by Dana Zohar, in her book SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, where she says, by the side of the Mexican coast, there was a management expert who was sitting there. At some distance, there was a boat, and a fisherman was sleeping there in the boat. It was afternoon. And so this management expert said, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you not fishing? There's enough time today. It is not still evening." And that fisherman, in a relaxed mood, said, "You sir, you know what happened in the morning? I got a big catch. I sold it. I got good money. And that is sufficient for me. Today's needs. My quota of earning the money is over. And so I'm relaxing." What? Is there any quota system here? No, no, no. You must fish more and then you will get more money. But what do I do with the extra money? Why? Deposit. Deposit. He never heard the word deposit in his life. Deposit, yes. Deposit. Open a bank account and deposit. So what happens? Once you go on depositing, you will get more money, more money, more money. Then you go on depositing. Then when you get enough money, you purchase another boat. Then what happens? When you got two boats, you get still more fishes, you get still more income. What happens? Then what should I do with extra money? Again deposit, and now go on increasing the fleet of your boats and become CEO of a multinational company with all this fleet of boats. Then move your headquarters from Mexico to New York, operate all over the world, go on expanding, go on expanding. Then naturally, when you go on expanding, you will have to travel all over the world. So there will be blood pressure, there will be bypass surgery. When there are three bypass surgeries and doctor says no more, then you retire. Sell all your companies. Come to me. I am an investment expert from Harvard. I will tell you how to invest the money. And when you invest like that, every month you will get fixed income and you will be able to sleep nicely. Well, I was sleeping nicely till you woke me up. For sleeping nicely, such a roundabout process. Dana Zohar says, this fisherman has got low IQ, doesn't know how to make money. But this management expert has got high IQ, he knows how to make money. But this fisherman has got high SQ, he knows what is the purpose of life is happiness and peace, to enjoy life. Whereas this management expert has got low SQ, he doesn't know what is the aim of life, what is the purpose of life, why we are here on this earth. So anyway, that is on a lighter note. But what is more important to know for us is that simply earning money will not lead us to long-term happiness and peace. Money is very, very important in our life. But for how long? The modern psychologist says, the sociologists say, the graph of happiness goes on and on and on, going up and up and up. As you go on increasing money, income goes on and happiness goes on to a still stage. Later on, when your basic needs have been taken care of, roti, kapda, makan, everything taken care of, then the more you earn, the more there is suffering. The happiness curve goes down. It is hyperbolic. This is what they have discovered. I am not telling theoretically. This is what they have told, that this is what we have observed in most of the people, that the happiness goes on, the happiness curve goes on increasing, happiness goes on increasing till a certain point. And then after that point, the happiness curve goes down. More money, more suffering. More money, more of jealousy, more of dissatisfaction, and you become prey of affluenza. You know, the Oxford Dictionary has introduced one more word, and that is affluenza. not influenza. Influenza, sometimes we get it. No, this is affluenza. It comes to affluent people. In America, the parents have started affluenza resistant society. What is affluenza? When you get more, you want more. You still get more, still you want more. You become prey of Nugen neurosis. You got 2 cars, still more dissatisfied, 3 cars, still more dissatisfied, 4 cars, 3 shoes, more 4 shoes, 5 pairs of shoes. Goes on increasing dissatisfaction. There is no end to it. And then you become prey of Nugen neurosis, then drug addiction, then schizophrenia, then suicide. This is the way to suicide. This is what is happening to many youths in America, Japan, Sweden. And that is why, because in spite of the high standard of living and high per capita income, the rate of suicide is increasing, rate of psychic patients is also increasing. So what we have to know is, if human values, if we can really inculcate, then it will be good for us also. We will get long-term happiness, long-term peace. At the same time, when there are better human beings, that will give rise to a better society. When it rise to better society, it will give rise to a still better world, which will be now easier for you to inculcate the human values. I recall at this instant my meeting with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam at Rashtrapati Bhavan on 16th April 2003. I had gone there to present the CD that we had prepared based on the speech that he had delivered while inaugurating one of the 81 school buildings constructed by us as a part of the earthquake rehabilitation project. And that was on 13th February 2002 at Porbandar. And he had talked to 3,000 youth, beautiful lecture. So we prepared a CD, and I had gone there to deliver that video CD. So since there was time, I wanted 5 minutes, he gave me 15 minutes. So since there was time, I told Dr. Kalam, it's very good that you are trying to do good, make India, you are very hard to make India a developed country by 2020. As you know, his book is there, India 2020, a vision of the new millennium. And I said that you have got your plans and programs and all that. I'm very happy to see that. We, the monks of Ramakrishna order, are trying in our own humble ways to fulfill the dream of Swami Vivekananda, who said India will become so great that its past glory will fade into insignificance. But we have taken another line. Swami Vivekananda said, my mission is man-making mission. We want to produce better human beings who will afterwards become better engineers, doctors, or leaders, and who will make it a better society. It is not for us to enter politics. It is not for us to enter into becoming social workers. We want to produce men and women of high character who will then bring out this change. This is our prayer. And we are trying in our humble way. And we have about 1,000 education institutions in which 3 lakh students are studying. And there we are giving excellent education, excellent academic education. Apart from that, also some values. And not only that, we have special institutions that is only meant for providing moral education and spiritual education. For example, Ramakrishna Institute of Moral and Spiritual Education in Mysore, Rimse, Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence in Hyderabad. And I told, now we want to start Vivekananda Institute of Value Education and Culture, Vivek, in Porbandar. And we would like you to invite, want to invite you to inaugurate that institution. Dr. Kalam says, surely Swamiji, I'll surely come. Let us work together for this great cause. So he really came, he kept the promise. On 12 January 2006, we wanted him to come on Swami Vivekananda's birthday. So as soon as he landed, he said, Swamiji, yeah, so I have kept my promise. You wanted me on Swami Vivekananda's birthday, so here I am on Swami Vivekananda's birthday. I said, I'm thankful to you. So Swami Vivekananda's birthday, as you know, 12 January is celebrated in our country as National Youth Day. So on 12 January 2006, Dr. Kalam came to Porbandar and inaugurated Vivekananda Institute of Value, Education and Culture, Vivek, and then talked to this about 5,000 people. And after giving his lecture, first he told how Swami Vivekananda inspired Jamshedji Tata to start Indian Institute of Science at Bangalore. While they were traveling from Japan to Chicago by the same ship, Swami Vivekananda had given these ideas, and so Jamshedji Tata wrote to Swami Vivekananda while he planned for this Indian Institute of Science. He wrote a letter to Swami Vivekananda that you might remember me as a co-traveler from our voyage from Japan to Chicago. That was a letter in 1898 that he wrote, and he said, I am now recalling you in this connection that I know not a person who will be better than you, who could be the general of this campaign in favor of this science institute. And so he wanted him to be the general of the campaign because the British government was against Indians getting science and Indian getting educated in science and technology, and they wanted them to be only clerks. But Jamshedji Tata, after talking to Swami Vivekananda in the steamer, Swami Vivekananda used to say, in our country, what we want is Western science coupled with Vedanta. These two jointly will bring about the wonderful results. And so he wanted certain institutions where these researches will be done not only on science, but at the same time on human values. And so Jamshedji Tata recalled him and requested him to do, and Swami Vivekananda, though he himself could not do, he put Sister Nivedita, Miss Margaret Noble, who dedicated her whole life for the sake of the Indian freedom and educating Indian women. That is why Swami Vivekananda, when he gave her Brahmacharya Diksha, he gave her the new name, Nivedita. So Sister Nivedita worked very hard to establish this Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, as you know. Whatever it is, but after that, giving that lecture, he said Swami Vivekananda was not only a great man of India, but the whole planet. And then during the question answer session, one student stood up and said, Sir, Operation Duryodhana, Operation Chakravi, and other operations have revealed the tip of the iceberg, that is rampant corruption in the country today. As the President of India, how do you feel about it? And where do you think lies the solution? So Dr. Kalam stood up and said, you see, the Parliament has already taken some action on those MPs. And then he said, then he took up the book of Swami Vivekananda and read out from the book, in which Swami Vivekananda says, no number of Parliament acts can make a nation good, can make a nation great. Then what can make a nation good and what can make a nation great? Then again he read out, only a large number of good enlightened citizens can make a nation good, can make a nation great. And so then he said very nicely, so Dr. Kalam said, and the government cannot produce good people, and the government will not produce good people. That also he said. Then who can do it? He said only 3 persons can do it. Who are the 3? Father, mother, and the teacher. These 3 only can make transformation in the personality of the students. And the students, when they grow up as citizens, enlightened citizens, they will work out these problems. So this is the process. And this is exactly what I had told on 16 April 2003. I said, Dr. Kalam, you want to bring about these changes and all that. But I tell you, even if you bring the wealth of the whole World Bank and you put them into the 5-year plan, our GDP growth will be there, but our poverty will remain. The poor people will remain poor, richer people will get richer, rich people will get richer, and the poor people will become poorer, though GDP growth will be there. Why, Swamiji, why? I said, for the simple reason, the former Prime Minister of India, former Prime Minister of India said, if we put 1 rupee into the 5-year plan, only 15 paisa comes to the grassroots level farmer. I am afraid if 5 paisa is coming or not. Rampant corruption in the country today. I'm talking about 2003. At that time, really it was a rampant corruption. I had seen with and I told Dr. Kalam, I'm not talking from newspaper reports. I was in Bihar, and I was there for 10 years. I had a first-hand experience. So then Dr. Kalam was very much worried. He said, but what is the solution, Swamiji? What is the solution? I said, only one solution. What is that? What we should have done on 15th August 1947, we should do it now. What is that? Swami Vivekananda said, education, education, education alone is a panacea of all our evils. But what type of education? Swami Vivekananda said, what we want is man-making education, character-building education. Man-making education, character-building education. That is the type of education that we would like to give. Now, I don't know how many institutions are providing man-making education. It is money-making education, not man-making education. Or if I go one step further, I will say Rakshasa-making education, demon-making education. You know who is a Rakshasa? Not with the two horns that you see in the TV. Who is a Rakshasa? Bhartihari, you know, brother of Vikramaditya. He wrote Niti Satakam. And there he says there are 4 types of people in the society. Who are the 4 people of society? Ete satpurusha parartha ghataka swarthan parityajye samanyasthu parartham udyam swartha avirodhaniye temi manav rakshasah twarahitam swarthai dignantiye ye tu dignanti nirarthakam parahitam teke na jani mahe. 4 types of people in the society. First, satpurusha, excellent human beings. Satpurusha parartha ghataka swarthan parityajye, excellent human beings who want to sacrifice their life for the sake of others, want to do good to others. Second, samanya manusha, they first try to do good to themselves and then they try to do good to others. Third, mano rakshasa, they are looking like human beings but they are rakshasa. What are these manav rakshasa? What do? For their small self-interest, they can do any amount of harm to others. Examples, plenty. Supposing there is an executive engineer. What does he do? He takes 10 lakh rupees from under the table. And then he says, you can mix any amount of sand with the cement while constructing a check dam. To the builder, he says. Now, builder, where he has already paid 10 lakh rupees bribe, so what does he do? He mixes only sand and sand and sand, very little cement. And the dam is ready. Now, the minister has to inaugurate it. They are not getting the date from the minister. Minister is very busy. In the meanwhile, there is a heavy rain and the check dam is gone. Before inauguration, gone. And hundreds of people die, thousands of people become homeless, millions of rupees of loss to the nation. But this executive just says, what does he say? कोई बात नहीं, मेरा तो 10 लाख रुपए में मेरा मकान बन गया, देश जाए भाड़ में, समाज जाए भाड़ में. Let the world go to, let the society go to dogs, let the nation go to dogs. I am very happy, I got my house with 10 lakh rupees. Manav Rakshasa. This I am going only one example. Plenty of examples you will find all over the society today. All selfish giants. Selfish, selfish, selfish. Very, very highly educated, gold medalist maybe, but selfish giants. For their small self-interest, they can do any amount of harm to others, to the society. They don't mind. They can sell the secret to the other countries also. Selfish. These are 3rd type of people. And Bharti says there are 4 type people also, but I don't know what name I should give. Teke na jani mai. I can't give the name because they are worse than Manav Rakshasa. What is they do? 3rd people, for the small self-interest, they do an amount of harm to others. The 4th type of, they don't get any interest. They don't get any benefit. Still they enjoy others' downfall and others' harm. किसी का मकान जल के राख हो गया, बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा. Somebody's house is burning, very good, very good. But does it give any benefit to you? No, but his house is burning. I'm so happy. कोई लड़का फेल हो गया, बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा. पर तुमको एक भी ज्यादा नंबर मिला नहीं, पर वो फेल गया, हमको बहुत अच्छा लगा. That fellow has failed. I'm so happy. But did you get 1 mark extra? No, but I'm so happy, very happy. That fellow has got 1 less mark. He has failed. I'm so happy. This is 4th type of people. At least the selfish giant, those Manav Rakshasa, they are getting something for which they are doing so much of harm to others. But these people are not getting anything and yet they are doing harm to others. So these are the 4 types of people about which Bhartihari said. And now, my dear listeners, let us research. fifth type also. Perhaps they were not available at the time of Bhartrihari. So now maybe I have found out the fifth latest research, a fifth type of people. What are the fifth type? I can't give the name. Teke na jani mein. I can tell you what do they do. Fourth type people, they enjoy others' downfall without getting any benefit to themselves. But the fifth type, they enjoy others' downfall, others' harm so much so that by harming themselves, they do harm to others. For getting the joy of harming others, they do go harm to themselves. What do? They go and sit in the aeroplane and smash with the world towers. I am gone, doesn't matter, but I have killed 5,000 people, 3,500 people. How happy I am. Wow, very nice. So happy I am. I am done. I am gone, but I have killed so many people. So happy. By killing myself, I kill others. By harming myself, I harm others. This is the fifth type of people. And the story that you must have heard, I don't have the time now, time is ending. You must have heard the story of that blind man, that person with the conch shell. I'll not go to the story. Anyway, this is the fifth type. By harming myself, I go to harm to others. So what we want in the society is now, what do we find in the society today? Manav Rakshasas, plenty of Manav Rakshasas. I go everywhere. I go to meet and youth, thousands of youth I am meeting. So I go all over the country meeting the youth, even outside also India. But here most of the time, what do I find? The youth, I ask them, oh, what do you want? I want to develop my career. Then earn money. बस क्या बनना चाहते हो? इंजीनियर, डॉक्टर, चार्टर्ड अकाउंट, पूरा लाइफ बना दे. फिर देश अपने कैरियर डेवलप करूँ. फिर तो बस पैसा कमाऊंगा. फिर अरे पैसा आएगा तो मजा ही मजा. देश का क्या होगा? अरे देश जाए भाड़ में, हम अपना पैसा कमाएंगे. समाज का क्या होगा? समाज है भाड़ में, हम तो अपना पैसा कमाएंगे. फिर मैं उनको बोलता हूँ, अच्छा भैया सुनो, तुम्हारा देश भाड़ में जाएगा, तुम्हारा समाज भाड़ में, तुम कहाँ जाओगे? तुम भी भाड़ में जाओगे. इतना तो कॉमन सेंस नहीं है. तुम्हारा समाज भाड़ में जाएगा, तुम्हारा देश भाड़ में जाएगा, तुम भी भाड़ में जाओगे. So all selfish giants, our society today, our nation today, what we are now producing in every college, in every educational institution is these Manav Rakshasa. मैं, मेरी बीवी, मेरा बच्चा, मेरा मकान, देश जाए भाड़ में. I want to develop my own career. Career development is not bad. It's a must. We must develop our career. And career development is a must. Particularly, we must apply the skill-oriented training. And now under Atma Vishwas, that new slogan given by our Honorable Prime Minister of India, we must depend on ourselves. We must develop our career. We must go around, go ahead. No doubt about it. But not at the cost of others. Character development and career development should go hand in hand. Otherwise, all of us will have to suffer. So corruption will go on increasing if we do not become better human beings. If we do not become, if we remain selfish giants, we are not going to do any good to ourselves, neither nor to others. So this is very important. The character building along with career development. And what do I mean by character building? Character building means total personality development. What is that? Physical development of the personality, mental development of the personality, intellectual development of the personality, and spiritual development of the personality. How it will come? By 5 basic things: self-confidence, self-reliance, self-knowledge, self-control, and self-sacrifice. I have given, now because time is short, I'm just giving the formulas. You will get it in all my lectures, other lectures. When I talked about total personality development, you will get all these ideas. So basically what we want is character development. When we are talking about human values, particularly in the present era, it is very, very important because when the corruption is rampant, when the whole society is thinking of, when the country is full of these selfish giants, full of Manav Rakshasa, it is at this time that we need to inculcate human values in our students. What type of enlightened citizens, what we want is that those who believe not only in career development, but also in character development, those who develop their total personality development, physical, mental, intellectual, moral, and spiritual, and those who have got IQ, EQ, and SQ, all the 3. And then how to develop SQ? As I told you, by combination of 4 yogas: Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gyan Yoga, and Karma Yoga. What is Raj Yoga? Raj Yoga consists of 7 steps: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. So, Ashtang Yoga, 8 steps. Ashtang Yoga. So, first is Yama. What is Yama? Yama consists of 5 virtues. Just now, Madam had been telling about some of the values given in the Yama. Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Ahimsa. Satya, truth. Satya, Asteya, non-stealing. Brahmacharya, continuous. Aparigraha, non-acceptance of gift. Ahimsa, non-violence. These are the 5. These are called Sarvabhaumik Mulya, universal values. You go through any religion, you go through anywhere when you are talking about values, these 5 values are basic: truth, non-stealing, non-violence, purity. These are all the basic virtues. So Yama and Niyama. What are the Niyama? Again, Niyama are 5: Shauch, Santosh, Tap, Swadhyay, Ishwar Pranidhan. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So basically, Raj Yoga is following the ethical values, moral values in our character and building up the character, and at the same time meditating, culminating in Samadhi, going to superconscious state where time becomes indeterminate. So this is Raj Yoga. What is Bhakti Yoga? Prayer. By prayer and repeating the mantra and loving the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, with all thy soul, with all thy strength. That is Bhakti Yoga. And Gyan Yoga is inculcating the habit of reading powerful thoughts of self-development, how to know ourselves, then thinking about it. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. These are the 3 steps. Shravan means listening, or we can include now reading. Either reading or listening about the great truth, then Manan, conjugating over it, and then Nididhyasan, meditation. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. And Karma Yoga, unselfish service. Combine all the 4 yogas, then we can develop SQ. This is a very short, very briefly I have tried to give an ideas. So to conclude the whole thing, we are coming to an end because the time is ending. So totally I told what are the human values, what is a human being. A human being has got a special prerogative. A human being, as I told you, has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception, as Lincoln Barnett said, or as Dr. Einstein said, that the true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained to liberation from the self. And so this special prerogative is there in the language of the modern science, that is development of SQ. So SQ is the basis of the whole. If you want long-term happiness, long-term success, long-term peace, then you must develop SQ. This SQ will be developed by a combination of 4 yogas: Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gyan Yoga, and Karma Yoga. So once the enlightened human beings come into this society, when the career development and character development comes on simultaneously, when the total personality development of the students take place, when there is when the human values are given proper value, when they are given proper importance, then what will happen? In the present era, we are talking about the current era where corruption is rampant, and when there is a society there are ethical principles are lacking. You know what is happening? Even today, when we are suffering from coronavirus pandemic, and the humanity is suffering, at that time also adulteration is going on in the food, in the sweets, in the milk that you are taking. You must have heard recently how much adulteration is going on. So already the coronavirus is there to kill us, and more importantly, human beings are there to kill us with this adulteration business. Just imagine. Heartless. selfish. For their small self-interest, they are doing so much of harm to others. They are Mano Rakshasas. So, unless and until these Mano Rakshasas become better human beings, we are not going to have happiness and peace in the society. So, that is why there is an urgent need of inculcating human values in the society at every level. But what I would say more, it is very difficult. You know, the milk which has been spoiled, very difficult. You cannot, at the most, you can make a paneer out of it. We are trying to make paneer out of it. Okay, we go to various people. We go to the man. We have got programs with the managers, businessmen, and all that. And then the politicians and social reformers and all that. Ultimately, our Swami Vivekananda said, "My faith is in the younger generation. It is they who will work out my plans and programs like lions." Our basic our faith is in the students, you know, because they are ready to capture the values. Very difficult to change the value system or make a paradigm shift in the mentality of the elderly people. Very difficult. I'm not saying impossible, but at the most we can make a paneer out of it. But the milk which has not been yet spoiled, that can be saved. And here the students, the milk has not been spoiled. That means their mind has not yet been adulterated by the selfish ideas. So if these students can be given these values and they can become enlightened citizens, oh, there'll be great change. And so at the end, I'll pray to Swami Vivekananda, may he give us strength to fulfill his ideas. May we read the books of Swami Vivekananda. May we get acquainted with the books of Swami Vivekananda. I will request all the students. I have given just I have introduced the topic, but if you want to know more about human values and how it can be inculcated, I would humbly request all of you, all the students, please read the books of Swami Vivekananda. You will get all the details there, how to develop your personality. And when you get that, when you develop your personality, then you will have happiness and peace for yourself, and a better society will come up, and the better nation will come up. And so I pray to Swami Vivekananda, may he shower his blessings on all of us, so that by reading his books, we become, we try to fulfill his dream. What Swami Vivekananda dreamt was India will become so great that his past glory will fade into insignificance. His past glory was so glorious, was Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda says, so glorious was our India, it was called Sone ki Chidiya. But Swami Vivekananda says, the future will be still more glorious. What a wonderful sentence. He says, Swami Vivekananda says, that India will be more glorious. It will be so much glorious that past glory will become insignificant. Now, that is a great dream to which we have to travel, with which we have to fulfill. And so I'm sure, by the blessings of Swami Vivekananda, if we go on reading the books of Swami Vivekananda, again, and not reading is not enough, we try to implement in our life, build up our personality, become better human beings, better enlightened citizens, and then try to change the society. And then a new nation will come. And when better India comes, then India with its spiritual culture will conquer the whole world, and the whole world will have happiness and peace and prosperity. Thank you very much. Thank you.